We were asking for photos from a 30-year period of Brigitte's life. We were not asking for blood. So give us a sample. I'll send my doctors to take your blood. We were not asking for blood. So give us a sample. I'll send my doctors to take your blood. We were asking for simple answer, yes or no. Could you show us some photos of you raising your alleged children? They failed to produce that and now are pretending that they're victims. And
yeah, but they're under no obligation.
Candace Owens is going to owe many, many millions in damages after being sued by Brigitte Macron over her long-running revelations that she is indeed a trans man. Booker9E1 posted to Mr. Morgan, host of Piers Morgan Uncensored, "Don't you owe Candace Owens £100,000? He replied, "No, she will soon owe me that and a lot more in damages to the Macrons, I suspect." But Candace isn't backing down. And indeed, she wants to use this lawsuit as a massive moment where finally the people are able to challenge the political elites who for a long time she has said are major perverts. And indeed, after being served the lawsuit, after it was first leaked into the mainstream media, Candace posted on X, you have to read the portion of the lawsuit where Brigitte Macron recounts how Macron's parents transferred him out of the school because of their relationship. They actually typed that out as a defense. Brigitte is so far gone in his perversion that he doesn't even recognize it as such. And of course, this is a relationship. Let's just remember, whether Brigitte Macron is a man or a woman, this is a relationship that if the genders were reversed, would be treated with disgust, would be treated with horror. She was his teacher. He was a 14-year-old pupil. Let that sink in. It is pedophilic. And we also know from those recent fighting images on the jet plane that this is also some type of abusive relationship with that little mini weirdo, Macron. But Candace Owens has been going on some detail about how she found out that this lawsuit had first been filed.
I wake up, I stretch, I have a cup of coffee, and then I am served with a lawsuit. I think that's the morning routine, my friends. That is clearly my morning routine. It is so effortless. And today I have been sued by the first lady man of France. So let's just go, guys.
But she believes that this is very much a PR strategy. Listen.
Cast doubt on people's gender and sexuality, so I'll just leave it floating, hoping that someone in the internet world grabs it and makes me tons of money with a, is Candace male or female? But my point is this, you would be able to prove it to me by taking a simple sex test, right? You would just say, here we are, here are the results, here's the sex test. That's the best way to do this, right?
Actually, because we were in communication with her legal team long before she launched this website, we never asked for something that deep. So give us a sample. I'll send my doctors to take your blood. They know what has happened here. They know that we went to Brigitte before we started this series to get Brigitte's side of this. We were in contact with Brigitte's lawyers, the same ones that filed this case. We asked simple yes or no questions. We were not requiring a blood test. So give us a sample. I'll send my doctors to take your blood. We'll figure it out real quick, however you want to go about this. Hey, how about just giving us some pictures again of you growing up? I think you're a man. I think it's beyond obvious that you were born a man. You may want to split hairs about, well, I'm really a woman. I feel on the inside, no, I'm a woman. An insulting wig that you're wearing. It's ridiculous. It's like you're laughing at us, okay? You can try to split hairs in how you feel and how you've always felt like a woman. What I'm saying is that you were born a man and you will die a man. That's the point I'm making. So give us a sample. I'll send my doctors to take your blood. So give us a sample. I'll send my doctors to take your blood. Anyways, I am floored. Are you floored? Because this is just goofy. You are officially a very goofy man, Brigitte. But I got to give it to you. You've definitely got balls. Fire everybody around you, and I mean literally everyone around you who told you that this was a good idea, that this was a very good idea for you to be the first sitting first lady of a country to file a lawsuit against a journalist of another country. You are literally making history in all the wrong ways. And I want to be very clear here right at the top that this is obvious, very clear that it is an obvious and desperate public relations strategy. Raising your children, that would be fine. Like I said, we'll get to the bottom of it, right? That is what Discovery is for. I'm going to ask a lot of questions. You're probably hoping, this will go away and at least we'll say we sued her. We'll say we went after her. She'll probably file for this to get dismissed. I'd like to make it to Discovery. I think that we owe that to the world. Or we aired the first episode, which makes the opening lines of their lawsuit especially egregious. It's just the audacious. It's like the audacity of the lies that Claire Locke is now telling. This is what they write in their opening complaint. This is Claire Locke, ready? Can you pull up the opening lines where they say that we didn't allow them? Yeah. It says, in March of 2024, Candace, a right-wing podcaster, told the world that she would stake her entire professional reputation on the fact that Brigitte Macron is, in fact, a man, and then goes on to say, rather than engaging with President and Mrs. Macron's attempts to set the record straight, Owens mocked them and used them as additional fodder for her
got sued by the leader of France, the president of France. I mean, if we would take this back 200 years ago, some farmer out on a field in Virginia talking crap about the French president,
you never hear about it.
It never would have been heard of. To think that the French president is suing it's a podcaster. I mean, and again, it's just showing what content creation is. It's people are listening. Candace has a fairly large following, and people listen to her for her opinions and thoughts.
I guess my question is, why sue? Why would the Macrons want to sue Candace Owens of all people? I mean, doesn't this just shine a brighter light on what Candace is saying? Like, why would they sue her?
And this lawsuit, we got an estimate this weekend from a legal team. It is going to cost us millions. I don't have that money. I really don't. So I thought we could actually sell some t-shirts. You guys are watching this series and enjoying it. And
oh, Candace. Oh, no. Well, now that you're broken, you have to sell t-shirts. I actually wanted to help you out, and I came up with a few t-shirt designs I thought you would like that would really fit with your brand. Okay, the first one is Chuz. I don't know. I came up with this, and it immediately reminded me of you. So here you go. You're welcome. Also, DEI hire. Just again, felt very, very you, very now, right? Then this one's my favorite. Black lives don't matter except for mine. It just felt very you. And then the last one is just, I hate women, which honestly, I think this one would be really useful to you because now, like in your debates, you don't even have to like sit down and like formulate your argument. It's just on your shirt, It's fashionable and functional. I do think it's like really, really funny that she's asking why JD Vance and Donald Trump aren't defending her. And now you want us to buy your raggedy t-shirts? Your internalized racism does not make white people less racist. You're just never going to be one of the good ones because that doesn't exist. It really doesn't. You thought you were special. You thought you were an exception, but you're not. At the end of the day, you are a Black woman who was useful for 5 minutes until your use wore out. And now when you need something, they're not here. You shouldn't have sold out your community, girl. You should not have sold out your community. Stay blessed. Bye.
There's a crazy situation going on with right-wing podcaster Candace Owens, and I want to talk about it. So Candace Owens, obviously very popular on YouTube. She's got all these conspiracy theories. Last month, she got sued by the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, and his wife, Brigitte Macron, over her conspiracy theories that Brigitte is trans. And not just that, but that she's claimed that they're involved in all of these crimes, maybe a cult going back hundreds of years. Well, now I check back in how she's responding to this, and things are looking a little rough for Candace Owens. Number one, she's claimed that it's going to cost millions of dollars to defend this lawsuit, and I believe it. I mean, the Macrons have hired a really heavyweight libel firm. So she's looking at some real long odds in this case. She claims she doesn't have the money at all. She says, I need money from my fans. Now, how's she going to get that money? I don't know if it's going to be bringing in all that much. She's selling a $30 shirt with a matching hat that says Free Emmanuel, the idea that he's kind of enslaved by his wife, who's again part of maybe a CIA mind control experiment. So look, if you believe that, you could buy a $30 shirt, contribute to maybe one fraction of a minute of her lawyer's time. But she has maybe a more compelling idea, which is that Donald Trump and JD Vance should just save her. Now look, Donald Trump has been doing a lot of pardons, but so far we haven't seen the president just say, I quashed this civil lawsuit, or, I like this person, so you can't sue them. But that's kind of her idea. She put out a video saying that Emmanuel Macron is a foreign invader. And of course, as we all know, one of the president's jobs is defending the country from foreign invasion. So she says he needs to kind of, get the military to stop Emmanuel Macron, something like that. The odds are not looking so good for Candace. She's facing a lot of difficulty. And the case here is really just getting started. So I think this is going to be one to watch for sure. Potentially millions of dollars in damages and legal bills on the line for Candace Owens, sort of the future of her media empire possibly at stake. Well, this has been Will Summer at The Bulwark. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll be watching this one close.
European leader that is basically saying F you to the American Constitution, right? Emmanuel Macron and Brigitte are saying, you know what? We don't like that podcaster in America. And we are going to launch a lawsuit that's never been launched before, an unprecedented lawsuit to impoverish her for speaking. And both JD Vance and Trump have not issued a statement. In fact, where are the journalists even asking them to make a statement? Okay, a state leader is speaking about your constituent and launching a lawsuit and saying they're going to impoverish them for executing the First Amendment right. Where are you? If you are Trump, the first thing you should have done, if you purport to care about America and our Constitution, as you're supposed to be the person that's defending that day in and day out, you would come out and you would say, I don't even know whether I believe that she's a man or woman. Doesn't matter, right? I didn't watch the series. Fair. He didn't watch the series. He could even say, like he said to me on the phone, that I looked at her real close on the Eiffel Tower and it looked like a woman to me. Okay, you can say all those things. And this lawsuit, we got an estimate this weekend from a legal team. It is going to cost us millions. I don't have that money. I really don't. Frenzied fan base. Okay.
A few moments later.
We are at the beginning of this, guys, so bear with me as I take you through this. Of course, there is potential that we are making some errors. This is an open investigation. They tell us nothing, so we have to investigate this stuff ourselves. But we could be trying to make it fit, We could be trying to make it fit, and maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know anything right now. That's the point. That's why we go to you guys, because we get to just activate a bunch of investigators. We're exploring, as I said at the top of the show, every available lead, because now we need to finally get to the truth of what happened to Jean-Michel Draganel.
I mean, she is in Tennessee and she